Hey everybody, welcome to Watch with Josh, the live stream show where we go over some of the best Randonautica videos and sort of touch on what's going around the internet regarding Randonautica. There's a lot of, spooky and fake videos that we hope to debunk, a lot of really heartwarming videos that we like to highlight. And we got to show you guys last time that people don't use Randonautica just in one way. Like the guest we had on, she uses Randonautica to solve a lot of different questions, and she uses it in really interesting ways. So that's what we're here to do, is to kind of give you a different perspective on Randonautica than what you may have just seen online. As always, my buddy Derek is joining us. He's kind of a behind-the-scenes guy working on the reality show and is involved with Randonautica. So how you doing, Derek?
Pretty good, Joshua. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. We had a really good weekend. Auburn Salcedo, my partner and co-owner of Randonauts, came into Dallas and we did a video shoot to promote the book, the official guide to Randonautica, which we wrote.
You guys look so professional in that photo. Look at you. Those are
isn't it funny?
That's what authors look like right there. You guys are pros. Look at that.
Definitely an author. Now it's going to be so weird to consider that I'm going to have a book in some guy's dusty closet in 20 years and some kid's going to be looking through all his stuff and find, whoa, what's this? It's so interesting. But yeah, right now the book is available for pre-order. There's a lot of information in there that has never been published publicly. So we put up the straight secrets in that book. So it touches on a lot of the theories, a lot of the origin story of the project and history of the project. And so go to randonautica.com and there will be a link to pre-order the book. And so today, the format of this show basically is that I've never seen any of these videos. Our producer picks some of the most interesting Randonautica content videos and kind of cuts them down and edits them so that we get the best stuff and we don't have to sit through 30-minute long videos with no payoff. So I personally have not seen any of these videos. This is all my genuine reaction. I've never seen any of this before. So I guess let's take a look at today's first video of the week.
All righty.
All right, so we decided to do the Randonautica app tonight, and one of the signs the app's working is if you see an owl or anything out of the ordinary, and I thought it was complete bullshit. So we started driving. It's 1.5 miles away where it told us to go. It was on High Street, so I documented that, obviously.
That helps.
We pulled up to a park, okay? And we went to where the picture was. Here it is. That pole, that's an owl.
It's
a
an
fucking
owl.
I've never seen an owl in the 22 years I've lived here, right? So I'm freaking out right now. There it is flying away. It was a real owl. There's Miko, he's freaking out. There's Cameron, she's freaking out. I have goosebumps.
The goosebumps.
There's Megan, she wanted to leave. Yeah, so we decided to go on a little walk, but it was too much for us, so we had to leave. Yep.
Nice.
That is the ideal Randonautica trip right there. Look at the guy's face.
The first time I watched this, I thought he was flipping us off, and I was like, "Bro, come on!" And I'm like, "Oh, it's his index finger. He's cool."
No, so this is the absolute perfect. This is basically an ad for Randonautica right here.
Yeah.
They set off on their journey. They didn't really know what to expect. They saw High Street, which obviously rang a bell with them, but then they saw an actual
Speaking
owl.
of High Street, real quick, I didn't plan this out, kids. Don't do drugs.
There you go. Don't do drugs.
Come on now.
I agree. We're all about getting high on life and using your mind to ascend instead of material substances. But the symbology that they found is an owl sitting on an antenna, which I found very interesting. It's that owl is blasting the owl waves all across the United States or the world. So it's very symbolic of Randonautica, is that we're taking this owl energy and blasting it all over the entire globe. That one's really interesting. It's the perfect Randonautica video in my opinion.
Now, while you're on the topic of that owl energy, did you happen to notice something, Josh? Because I took a peek at this video earlier before we started, and something caught my eye that was very easy to miss. And I wonder if you caught it. David, if we could play it around, maybe start around 40 seconds.
So we decided to go on a little walk.
Did you see it? Look at the back of his shirt.
Is there an owl on his shirt?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
Wow.
I think that's a barn owl.
So he was wearing an owl.
And they didn't acknowledge it in the video at all. So I don't even know if they were even put that together that he was wearing.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it's kind of like here we have.
Yeah, it is.
There, David pulled it up. Like, right? That's now, right?
Interesting coincidence. Yeah, owl energy. Mega.
Yeah.
Blast. But my favorite part is just the dude's face of just being so surprised because, like, when Randonautica is good, that's how you should feel. It's like you get goosebumps and you're like so surprised. Like when Auburn came in and we did some footage for Ready or Randonaut, or not Ready or Randonaut, for the official guide to Randonautica. We did the intention of surprise. And I'm not going to spoil what happened, but our results were extremely surprising. So I recommend the intention of surprise because that is kind of what you're looking for. Something novel, something you can use it one of two ways. You can like use it as in like, I want to find a McDonald's and it takes you to McDonald's, or you can use it as like, show me something I would not have seen before, or show me something surprising, something that would be totally out of your conscious mind. Because like, if you just want to be, like, finding things that you already thought of, that would be kind of boring in my opinion. Like it needs to have an element of surprise. Like it should take you to something that you want to see, but maybe you would not have thought of using as your intention. So that's just kind of how I read it or not. There's a lot of ways to do it. So that was a really good one. I was really impressed with that video. Well, let's see what we got for number 2, video of the week, number 2.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here with my cousin Katie.
Love her accent.
And we are going to play Randonautica.
We typed in on the Randonautica app scary, and it's taken us to a forest. And we are literally in the middle of nowhere right now. As you can see, like we are in the middle of nowhere. And the pinpoint still says we need to carry on going straight. Look, you can see we are literally in the middle of nowhere.
Exploring with Lucy.
A dog barking. What is that over there? Katie, what the hell? Look straight ahead.
Do you know what? I need to put my glasses on. I actually can't see.
Is that I don't know. There's like some weird like teepee thing. So guys, we've just come across some weird...
Yeah, this is pretty common.
She keeps falling over.
It's pretty common to see stuff like this.
Just come across some weird.
It's quite cute. Camping there.
Okay, this is getting the...
I wouldn't find that scary personally.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Scary
actually, with the very first spot I found where I found that cool drum, there was one of those kind of like stick teepees there too. So those are kind of common. People go in the woods and build them.
It is nice where we are. It's a new... nice little place we found, but we just don't know what it's taking us to. We didn't realise that the walk would be so long to get to what we're looking for.
Yeah, so if you go in the woods, make sure you have enough phone battery to get out of the woods.
Maybe this is a sign, guys.
Especially if you're going in
seeing
night.
all these weird teepee things is a sign.
At least you're going during the day, makes it a lot easier.
Because of what we're looking for. We typed in scary, and look, seeing all these.
I do like the accent.
Ow.
Yeah, they have a great accent. See, I would sit in there and like meditate. It's probably what it's for. It's probably somebody's ritual space where they go in.
Yeah.
Like focus
some,
their
like,
energy.
Weird like symbol thing.
It's got a very Blair Witch
on the tree.
Yeah, it looks like a neo-pagan kind of religious practice.
Half of it's coming off.
Something weird happening over there. I'm not sure what it is, but there's loads of little pathways, and our one's telling us to go straight up. On the maps, we are so close to where we're meant to be.
Okay.
Apparently, it should be not.
I mean, it definitely looks like a trail, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a well-established trail.
Quite deep in the forest now. We've probably been walking for about 40 minutes.
So they are
still going.
They are bushwhacking. That's pretty dedicated. A lot of people wouldn't go that far.
Don't you think? Yeah. Like, what on earth is that?
A giant caterpillar.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a caterpillar from the wizard from Alice in Wonderland.
This looks very weird.
That is very weird.
No.
That's very surprising.
So stupid in this video, Lacey.
What is it?
What
It just
is
looks like someone-
it?
It's trees.
That looks like a monster or something.
Did someone make that,
Little
or
bit.
did it like just
So it
grow
looks like
that
someone
way?
Put all these,
I don't know.
yeah, sticks and that together.
So someone made
Looks a
it.
bit like
That
a
had to
monster.
been, yeah.
That is scary. We are literally in the middle.
It's interesting
of
that they
nowhere.
interpret that as scary. It's just
Literally in the
sticks
middle
in
of
the
nowhere.
woods.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it's like a
Right, guys,
neo-pagan
just cut the camera
practice,
and have a
like
look. And we are here. The
people who
location
practice
is
like
there.
nature worship.
We finally made it.
Out there talking to woodland creatures.
So
Yeah,
Those kind of
or
people.
nature spirits hugging trees.
it's taken us to a teepee. Seriously?
So somebody definitely went out there with
So
the
guys, we've
intention
made
of
it
building
to our
those teepees.
location on
For sure.
Randonautica, and it's taken us to a teepee. So we've walked nearly an hour to come to a teepee
I wonder where they're at.
in the
Yeah,
middle of
I
nowhere.
wonder. England's or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of British. What is
No
that?
one leave. What is that?
Oh, be careful about touching it.
There's something.
Yeah, definitely be
there's a sign
careful
that says
about
no one
touching.
leave.
This is no one leave.
And there's
Someone's clearly put it there.
what is that?
Shall I touch? Oh, I don't know.
I don't want
Like a remote control or something?
There's something like
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
what is it? Like a mobile phone?
Someone's
Suspicious, but I don't think suspicious in the way they're intending it to be suspicious. Like,
Right.
Should I turn it
I
over?
don't like that it says no one leaves because I'm like,
No one leaves.
Is that a mobile phone?
Is it like a GPS unit?
Guys.
yeah, or like a device for testing for
Okay,
diabetes.
Yeah, like a
Like-
blood glucose
yeah.
meter.
Did you just say
That's
that?
the that's the term.
There's someone there. Oh, no way. Guys. There's someone through the bush.
Josh, is it you and your Randonautica people stalking them?
Yeah. I somehow transported from Texas to wherever the heck they are.
Through the trees. Maybe it's their stuff.
Maybe it's their
Their
stuff. I don't know. It's always suspicious to me when people like perfectly fine stuff. Oh, there are people there.
There are people.
Oh, no.
They don't look creepy or scary to me though. They just look
They look
like
like
a
they're-
couple on a walk,
On the trail.
enjoying nature.
Yeah. In the middle of the day.
It really shows you like how like
Okay, I'm scared. I'm like, hi guys.
your perspective is like in the eye of the beholder. Like, I don't think two middle-aged people on a walk in a forest is scary, but they're pretty scared.
I think we should go.
Rocket Robin says it was her.
We should go.
Yeah,
Rocket Robin,
Well,
if you came
yeah.
up, showed up like your profile picture, it would be scary.
yeah. I think we
Giant
would
chicken
notice
walking
a
through
giant chicken.
Or Robin, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a good point. To the other
point.
people, the
The
women.
other people, these guys look just like the scary ones.
Okay, so
Okay, right. We're going to go. Guys,
So they're
we messaged you when we
whispering.
get back to the car.
they're so sneaky, and then they
Right,
just
hi
talk.
guys, we are now
yeah.
back at the car. We had literally just, I got in my car and I drove somewhere else. We're literally like on a main road now because that was so scary. I don't even know what that was. I don't know what that was. The pinpoint took
I
us
know what
to
it
some
was.
weird teepee. And then there were some weird things there. And then there was people standing like watching us. So we literally ran and ran. I don't know what that was.
I didn't even realise them, and then when we saw them literally just standing staring, it was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, so as soon as we
So that
like
they
looked
ran
down,
for an hour
at what
because remember
was
they
on
said
the
they
floor,
would
Like a
walk
40
for
yeah.
an
two
hour.
people appeared from out the bush. I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but I did try and
I'm a
zoom in
little
on them,
suspect. This is a
and they were
little
just
suspect
proper
to
watching
me.
us.
But they didn't kill us, so we're great.
Like
fine.
we're still
they didn't
here.
kill you,
We
so
are
that's a good
still
They
here.
didn't kill you.
See, now, Josh, this is where you and I are slightly different. You said you're slightly suspect of the whole situation.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I think it's absolute BS. So,
Yeah.
You feel like it's suspicious.
What do you think is BS?
I know for
exactly?
sure. I feel like the whole thing is
okay. So
BS.
break it down for me. What's your opinion on this video?
Well, the first clue, because early on, and she says this twice. She says we typed in "scary" on Randonautica.
Right.
Now, what stands out as suspicious about that, Josh, is the fact that you don't type anything into Randonautica.
Well, we used to have, it depends. We used to have in our beta version, it was like a text bot, like, so you could type stuff in. So I kind of assumed that maybe they were using the old version where there was a text thing. It's a possibility, but yeah, it's also possible because we never actually saw them generating the point.
That was the other thing, is like they weren't using a phone besides one they're filming with. There wasn't another one. It's not like one girl had I don't know, man. It just seems.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of knew that spot was already kind of creepy or something, and that they like kind of set it up to like make it look like that was like the random spot.
Yeah,
I don't know. It does. My BS meter is kind of going off, and like, what was scary about any of that? I mean, like, two middle-aged people wearing rain gear, like,
I mean, those windbreakers were
peaceful walk, like
bright colored too. It's not like they were like cloaked in darkness, like creeping around.
They're just trying to enjoy the forest, and then you got these two huddled in this teepee. Like, it's so funny because their intention was scary, and they ended up becoming kind of what they intended.
Yeah, the couple had a probably scarier experience. Than they did. Yeah, two creepy people like hanging out in that little teepee over there, and they left us a note saying no one leave.
Well, it also just shows you like what you put into it is what you get out of it. Like, seek and you will find. Jesus Christ said that himself. And so, like, if they had set their intention to like beauty or like something like mind-blowing or like something interesting, and they walked into the woods, maybe they wouldn't have been scared. Maybe they would have just been like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is beautiful. But since they set their intention for scary, it's like they were dead set on being scared, even if it's not that scary. It's like they twisted the context to be creepy and scary, I think probably because they're trying to force a narrative for internet clout and views. So this one I think gets a 2 thumbs down from the Randonautica crew. If you're gonna fake your stuff, try harder.
Try a little harder.
Yeah, at least make it so like you have some plausible deniability. Like, generate the point and actually show that was actually a random point that was generated. Because
don't just go to a creepy, like a place that you know of that has weird things, and then just like, oh my god, it took us here, and then walk for an entire hour of.
Oh no, 2 boomers! I'm terrified.
Lawrence says try harder. Yeah, exactly.
Try harder. If you're gonna fake Randonautica videos, make them at least to where we can't call you out. Like, they're airtight, because people making good content that's engaging, whatever. But this one was just kind of weird. But I do want to know what that device is. So if anyone tuning in knows what that device that they found was, let us know, because like I think it was a GPS thing, and I would have definitely taken that if I had just found that in the woods. But that totally seems set up and staged to me.
Yeah.
So let's see video of the week number 3.
We want to see deer.
We want to see a deer.
It's a dark neighborhood in the forest. Dead end.
That's a good place. Hey,
and a deer up here. There's a deer.
There you go.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet to the point. So I have a few things to say about this. Besides owls, deer are the number 2 animal associated with synchronicity and associated with kind of mysterious synchronous coincidences. Mike Cleland in his book, The Messengers, which is all about owls. It's like a 500-page book about owls. We linked to it in our last article on the news feed if you want to go check that out within Randonautica. The book is about owls and how people have all these synchronous experiences or weird mind-bending experiences or coincidences associated with owls. But he said that if he were to write another book about synchronicities in animals, it would be about deer. So that's interesting that they set their intention for a deer and they found a deer. So
what is it about the deer that make them so like the number 2 animal?
I'm not sure. It's just, this is what Mike Cleland says after, and he does a lot of research about synchronicity and animals, and he does a really good job at like explaining synchronicities, because a lot of times they're very ephemeral, and it's kind of like explaining a dream to someone. Like you can kind of say the outline of it, but you'll never quite get the full message across. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting one. I mean, a deer, you know, have an interesting symbology and everything if you look it up on the internet. And so a lot of people use this sound in Randonautica videos. So I was like
the sound reminded. Yeah, this something about this sound that just drives me crazy. And I know like with TikTok, the whole thing with TikTok is using the same sound, original sounds, kind of helps get your video like organized a certain way so other people see it. But I don't know. I just wish they would start using a different sound for that video. I don't know. It just drives something about it just drives me crazy. That's just me personally, though.
Yeah, they wanted to make it sound like creepy or something. I think like
I get that, but like it's not a spooky. I don't feel like it's a spooky sound though. It just sounds like a weird. Sandy Jewel says, just don't make fake videos at all, so I can get someone to go randonauting with me.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's like so spooked out, and it's like, no, you can use Randonautica for anything. It's a tool. Like there's just a lot of gravity towards the creepy stuff. Like, yeah. So I actually, when I got my haircut over the weekend, my barber actually had heard of Randonautica, and he was like, oh, that's the app that you have to put good vibes into. So it's interesting that it's becoming so ubiquitous that I can't even get a haircut without someone knowing what I do. It's pretty interesting.
Celebrity, Josh. Rabbits as well, says Hope Doomer.
Rabbits as well are very, very associated with synchronicity. Yeah, and going down the rabbit hole. And it's become a meme in the Randonauts community. A lot of rabbits. I found a rabbit in my backyard like a few days ago. So let's check out the next video of the week, number 4.
Hear me out. It's quite windy, okay? But hear me out. Have you ever been on vacation and then, say you go on vacation for 2 weeks to a foreign place you've never been to before, and then you come back on that place and you look at your place that you live in completely differently? Where you work, where you go to work, where you go to school, whatever, it just looks different. See, when you change your environment and you experience something new, you shift your reality. You're literally changing your thinking, your patterns of thinking.
Yeah, nice.
Right now, I'm in a weird like place I've never seen before, and it was very close to where I live, like 5 minutes away from where I live, pretty much. And I discovered it just randonauting, just driving around and thinking, okay, what's an interesting place I can go to? And I saw a little gate between the bushes, and I walked through the path, and I eventually came out here. See, I walked through that forest, okay? And I came out here.
I really liked his philosophy.
Just discovering different things, random experiences. So what do I recommend? I recommend driving around your neighborhood and just taking a side street that you've never, or a side road you've never been to.
Yeah, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
Going on YouTube randomly and just finding music you never listened to, suggested music you never listened to.
Exactly.
Or trying random foods from the supermarket.
Yeah, I love that.
For example, from different cultures, different countries.
Some of my favorite restaurants I've ever found, I've found Randonautica.
These are things that are going to switch you up.
Yeah.
You're discovering places, you're discovering things in your mind you never never had before, and it's like a adventure, really. It's like being a child again. That's what I used to enjoy about being a child.
Yeah.
Seeing things and discovering things I've never seen before.
With new,
and that's
fresh
what I'm beginning to
eyes.
experience now, that adventure.
Shout out to this guy. What was his name? J2 Day? J2 Day.
So,
Shout out to J2 Day. He totally gets it. This guy's awesome.
Randonautica, get experiencing, just randomly, just, once a week, adventure. Just try out different things. Try different places you've never been to. And see how it'll change your life and change your thinking. And see how your thinking will become.
I think we need to get this guy on the show.
Yeah, I would love to have him on and integrate it. Peace, J2
Thanks,
Day.
J2 Day. Dude, see, not everything has to be spooky, guys. Not has to be spooky. Doesn't have to be going out there and trying to create something. It's about just changing your life a little bit, like living in the moment. Just having that, he has a different outlook of the whole experience. Then it's not about just like, I don't know, just as cool as to just change it up a little bit,
Right. And so instead of using it for cheap thrills, this guy is using it to get a higher vantage point on his holistic reality and to change the way his brain kind of works. And so I have a few things to say about this. What he's talking about is like actually been studied in science. It's called geography of thought. It means like where you grow up and where you have been actually affects the way your brain works, and that by injecting novelty into this and going to unknown places, it actually can retrain your brain in different ways to allow you to experience novelty. And like it actually creates like new connections in your brain. And he's totally right. It does like totally like change the way your brain kind of thinks, because whenever you're stuck in your routine, your brain is just working one way and it's not ever thinking about the unknown. But when you go randonauting, you're actually training your brain to pay attention to unknown things and break out of deterministic patterns. And it gives you a chance to break out of previous loops or previous behaviors and create new behaviors, have new epiphanies, have new possibilities and new choices and new potentials. I really like the way this guy is going. He's like spot on. Shout out J2 Day. Everybody go follow him on YouTube.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that video a lot. Like it was just kind of like, because even as like a skeptical person could enjoy what he had to say. It doesn't have to like believe anything crazy or supernatural happens, but just getting out of your normal routine and just like experiencing something new for anybody. It's gonna have an effect on you.
Well, there's actually a scientific paper which we linked to in the official guide to Randonautica, which actually physically shows in a scientific experiment, like they did a lab like repeatable experiment, that adding novelty into your life through going to geographic locations that are new to you actually makes you happier. This is actually proven science. So even if you take out all the mind-machine interaction, mind-matter interaction, and an extrasensory perception and all that weirdness, even if you take all that out, it's shown in science that going to novel places actually makes you happier as a person and actually forms new neural pathways in your brain. And so it increases an attention and learning response and increases your perception and your awareness. And it kind of trains your brain, instead of like being afraid of uncertainty, to like kind of enjoy it. And it replaces that scanning of threats at anomalies into a like joyous curiosity. So I really like that video. Shout out J2 Day. You are awesome, man. Like everybody go follow that guy. I want to have him on.
Yeah, he'd be a great guest to have on. That's awesome. All right, let's head over to video number 5.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so they're
frogs. I like this video. Oh no! They saved the sheep. Well, they found some frogs. Wow, that was like an action-packed like minute. That's
Yeah.
insane. So like this is like one of my favorite things about Randonautica is like we are like a secret society, you know, spanning all class, all different kinds of religions and all different kinds of ideologies. And we're all based on like curiosity and just going exploring random places. And like one of the things that this group does is save animals. Like there are a ton of reports of people finding hurt cats and bringing the cat in and nursing the cat back to health. They saved this sheep. Shout out Tammy.
Hello,
Martz.
Tammy.
They saved the sheep. Like that's so awesome. They saved this sheep. That's not the only time someone saved a sheep. One time someone found a sheep laying on its back and it was gonna die, but they went and tipped it over and it survived. So like this is like one of my favorite things about Randonautica is like that we're like an existential detective agency just going around the world like kind of like making it slightly better place. Like, you know, if they weren't there to find that sheep, there would have been sheep bones in that well. And then you have the added bonus that they actually found the frogs.
Yeah. For the people that like, because this is my second time watching this video. Actually, it's like my 10th because before we did it, I previewed this video before we had started and I had to stop it and pause it and read it. For the people that missed it at home, the brother and sister, here we go. It just how quickly it moves. There's so much text on the screen at the same time. The music's swelling. It's just like, so you're trying to read, okay, the top screen, bottom screen. Okay, now it's over here. What is that, a rope? No, it's a sheep bones. And then it was just so much text trying to like read. Yeah. And I couldn't see what was going on. So if you had a hard time following along, it's a brother and sister that were going to look for some frogs because they have a pond, like a nature pond at their house, and they want to collect some frogs for it. While they were out there, they watched the sunset. They found, and then they found a well. They go over to the well and they look down, and there's a sheep with its leg stuck in some wire. And this, after almost an hour of trying to help the sheep and free its foot, it started raining really, really hard. And it's down in the well. It's raining hard. Like, you know, that sheep's pretty much done for. So eventually her brother goes down into the well and frees there it is. So my brother decided to go into the well after almost an hour of trying to help the sheep and free his foot. It's okay. That's the same.
Amazing.
They able to free the sheep and they brought it to a nearby field that also had some sheep. So they got the mother sheep there and they got the sheep out. Really cool story. And then, they end up finding some frogs. They walk home. They're absolutely drenched. They end up finding some frogs, which was their original intention, and got it back to the pond. Really cool story. Very sweet. I just think it was sensory overload with how it was delivered. And that's just coming from me from a technical standpoint, being a production person and a storyteller and stuff. When you have like 3 different things of text coming up, and then the music is swelling, and you're looking text up here and text down here, but you can't see what's going on at the same time. I was like,
it's always an issue on TikTok.
I could just be getting old and just don't have. I can't keep up with it. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really awesome story.
Yeah, it's a really cool story, and it's like I said, it's not the only time someone saved a sheep. Like that's the second one I've heard of somebody saving a sheep, and that's really cool that they found frogs and then brought the frogs back to their pond. Yeah. So now they just have like random frogs living there, and so like those frogs are going to reproduce and like change the ecosystem and change the genetics of all the frogs. And that never would have happened unless these people were out randonauting. So that's really cool. That
Randonautica is a lifesaver.
Yeah, Randonautica, we swear out here saving lives. That's so cool, man. Like that's one of the things about Randonautica is in the core tenets of Randonautica is always leave a place better than how you found it. So that's really cool. That sheep would have been a goner. And it's interesting that they not like I describe randonauts as kind, curious, and sincere. If you're not those things, you're just like somebody doing your own thing. But a real randonaut is kind, curious, and sincere. And so it takes a lot of kindness to drench yourself and go into a dirty, dark well and save a poor animal that's dying. Like that actually shows a lot of humanity and like that is an ideal randonaut right there. So props to you guys, whoever made this video, whatever your TikTok name is.
It was Nadia Gillard.
thank you for submitting that. That was a really interesting story, and you managed to fit it all in 1 minute because I have problems just fitting my little rants in 1 minute. So that one was really cool. That might be my favorite one I've heard since like the zebra one we watched last week.
Oh yeah, that was cool too. The zebra story, very cool. All right, moving on to number 6.
Number 6.
Recently on TikTok, I discovered a thing called randonauting. I believe we're living in a simulation.
Is that
so,
Snooki?
of course, I have to try this randonauting. But it's the app called Randonautica. Oh, and
Desiree Herrera.
supposedly, the more times you generate a new location from the location that you were supposed to go to, the more weird and random it gets.
Yeah.
Attractor, void, or anomaly. Attractor,
So she means a chain,
void,
chaining
anomaly.
points together.
I don't know what these mean. I know one of them means like mass and no mass, but like what the f is that? Attractor, void. I think I'm gonna go with void. Okay, we got our first place to go. Okay, we are pulling up to the spot right now. I hope I don't get kidnapped or something.
What was your intention?
Hmm.
I must have
Oh look, there's abandoned buildings over there. Should we go over there? I wish I had friends that I could bring
She
with
wants
me.
to have friends.
Okay, I guess let's get out. I hate this already. Like, honestly, I ain't built for this. Oh, butterfly.
Well, she's going
I guess
alone.
let's
She
go.
could have used some moral
I forgot
support.
to set an intention.
Oh,
Well, I guess
I thought I
let's
missed her
just
intention.
walk.
She just
I'm
didn't set
blocking
one.
the entire road with my car.
don't do that. Don't block it. Don't block the road.
There's
Well,
all
that's
that,
interesting.
Dude, I hope people don't see me. This is kind of embarrassing. Coming over here, there's hella
And that's
wood,
why you always bring
and
a
then
garbage
there's
bag.
couch
Yeah.
Random
thing,
couch.
which I don't
But
really
pause
want
it
to get
right here.
near. There's like a blanket and
Can we pause it
David,
for a second?
yeah.
So yeah, this random couch in the middle of nowhere. This is like a reoccurring theme that I can't explain. I guess people just go and dump couches places, but like this is like such a meme for some reason is people finding random couches. And another thing I wanted to say was she didn't have an intention for her first one, and that's okay. Actually, you don't always need to have an intention. You could simply just go and just be curious about what you find. And I find that even if you don't consciously set an intention, a lot of times it still will take you to somewhere that you've been talking about or thinking about. So thank you for pausing it, David. We can continue.
I just want to let Mateo, we'll get to your question after the next video.
There's like a blanket and stuff on it. You guys see that? Should I get a little closer? No. There's a butterfly. Let's follow the
that's
butterfly.
a good sign. That's another butterfly. It's another like random.
There's a bunny. That scared the
not
crap
a
out of me.
bunny
Should I
too.
go back
That's
to my
the
car now?
random
I think
thing.
I'm gonna go back to my car now.
Yeah,
So
There
we got
wasn't
cow,
many things
bunny,
here. There's
and
just a bunch of
rabbit.
trash.
See,
Let's
that's
go to
why
the
you
next
bring a
spot.
garbage
Maybe
bag
it'll
is to
be
clean up that trash.
better. Okay, before we go, I'm gonna generate the next spot. So here's spot number 2. My intention now is going to be to meet someone because I kind of want to make new friends and
Okay.
to meet someone and
That's pretty
make
bold.
friends.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 minutes away, so let's go. There's a cop behind me. I just drove by the place that I'm supposed to go to, and it's right next to the fucking highway, and there are literally people there! And like, it's in the middle of nowhere. Ah! Oh my god. No.
This is one wild ride she's taking us on.
I ain't trying to go to the people, even though my intention was to make friends. What if I make friends with those people? Like, but what the fuck am I supposed to say? Hey, I'm Randonautica.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you
is
wanna be a
awkward.
friend?
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't know if I'm trying to go back over
I like
there.
her. She has very like
Like, what am I
chaotic energy,
literally
but it's a
supposed
good
to say?
deal.
What
Yeah.
am I supposed to say to them?
I've knocked on people's
Make a
doors
U-turn.
before, and it is pretty
Okay,
awkward.
so
to
isn't it
explain.
kind of weird how my intention was to make friends and it literally leads me to a place in the middle of nowhere? My intention was to make new friends, and what
Make
if
some
I
friends.
do make new friends there? I think I will go. There were like people on their dirt bikes and stuff, and I'm really actually scared, but I think I'm gonna
Suck it up.
and just go. So yeah, let's go. What do I
Love
say?
the voice effects. I want to know if she actually
What
talks
do
to
I
these
do? Do I
people.
go? Even if I do stop,
This is entertaining, Rockin'.
I don't have the balls for this. Like, I'm such a pussy. Go make a new friend. Why does that keep happening? I'm kind of really.
I want to
really
watch more of her
scared.
videos.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Look, you can see like
She's
people.
very, she's
I
very
think those are
warm
supposed
and
to be my
interesting.
friends. So if you live in my town and you're watching this video and this is you, hit me up. Are you kidding me? Do I go over there?
She gonna do it?
I'm scared. Look at those are supposed to be the people.
Do it.
I can't do it. Oh, I can't believe I chickened out. They could have been my friends. But like, that's so awkward. What am I supposed to say to them? Hey guys, I am home now. Yeah, that might be disappointing. That obviously means I didn't complete my mission and I didn't go meet
That's okay,
whoever
though.
it was.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
completely
not
fine.
supposed to meet. I
She
guess
trusted
that's
her
it.
gut, you know. That's what it's all about. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't do it. Just because Randonautica told you to do it, she didn't feel comfortable doing it, so she didn't do it, and that's perfectly fine. But it is very awkward when you knock on people's doors or you run into people, and it's kind of hard to explain. I've done it a few times where I've knocked on someone's door and explained to them what I was doing and had an interesting conversation with them. Or like one time it took me to a point that was like on the edge of a lake and I found a guy meditating and I asked him if he'd heard about the research on consciousness and meditators influencing random number generators. And he said he had. So like, you never know what kind of connections you could make. I could definitely say though, like you should be safe and you should like, definitely, if you're gonna like be interacting with other people, it's probably a wise idea to not be alone.
Yeah, Sandy says she'll do it next time. Yeah, maybe she will, and maybe the people that are there and maybe they see this video and they're like, wait, that's our truck. We were dirt biking that day.
Yeah,
and happened to hit her up, and I don't know. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe
become friends.
She did her half of it, even if she didn't go up and talk to her. She put it out there, and now it's in the universe's hands.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Looks like we have a question.
Yeah, let's see question.
Yeah, we have a question from Mateo. Let's see what he has to say. Mateo says, how much of the book is about theory, etc., and how much of it is for the documentation of your journey? I'm very interested in the theories on what is going on.
So I have the book right next to me, but there's an entire chapter or two about the different theories. A lot of it is in the back of the book is for your journey log where you can document your trips and stuff. But the first half of the book is all about the history of the project, the original intentions of the creators, some of the experiments we did before we created Randonautica, and like a lot about the theories, not just our theories, but theories going back to the 80s when people started researching this kind of stuff, and even before that. So it gives you a really good introduction into the field of what's called parapsychology, where they experiment with mind-machine interaction, extrasensory perception, and this kind of stuff. So we definitely cover the theories of Randonautica and like a lot of people's pet theories. We kind of like address them and why they're maybe right or wrong. And we also address the scientific components of like the history of the scientific experiments that have been done in this field in the last 50 years.
Very cool, man. Yeah, thank you for your question, Mateo. Thanks. Keep your questions
really
coming, guys.
Question,
if you have
Mateo.
any questions for us, hit us up. You know, whether you're watching through YouTube or whatever, hit us up with those questions. Seems like we got one more video. Video number 7.
Lucky number 7. Let's see what it is.
We are doing the Randonautica app, and what was the intention that you set?
Love.
And
That's
it's
a good
taking us
one.
to an address, a house address. So,
I'm lonely.
oh my god, what?
Just married.
Oh my god, that is! Oh my god, wait.
It says like
Just
just
spot on.
married on the car.
Like, what in the world?
There you go.
I love that.
Another
So,
short and simple one. Looking for love.
This is such a good video because so many people are like, I'm interested in Randonautica, but I don't want to try it because I'm scared, because all they see is like people being like, don't use Randonautica. I got creeped out because I went in the forest in the middle of the night. And it's like, No, it's about what you put in, you get out of it. So this is a really good example. These two people, they had just tried it for their first time. They didn't have any like preconceived notions. They didn't really think it was going to work or not. And they set their intention for love, which is a very good intention, I would say, because you want to set intentions of things you want to invite into your life. If you don't want to invite death into your life, then don't set that as your intention. But if you want to invite love into your life, like that one person said, I'm lonely, and then it takes them to a just married car. So that's so interesting to me. And like, it definitely fulfilled their intention. I love that.
Awesome. So, Lauren says, love is my favorite intention when randonauting. Very fulfilling trips with this.
Yeah, love-based intentions, and you can even get creative, like about what kind of love, because there's like 8 different kinds of love, and then you could say more love or excessive love, or just kind of getting into that frequency and that vibe is definitely a good way to set your intention, because anything you find that's associated with love is going to be very positive, healing, and just good for you. So that's a very good point, Lauren.
Speaking of love, I would love to get to some questions from the viewers if we could. Sandy Jewel says, can I buy the book in Europe?
Yeah, I believe that it's going to be available anywhere books are sold. So if you can buy from Amazon in Europe, then you should be able to get it. You can pre-order it now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, the info to that, the link is in the stream info. So if you're looking for links to pre-orders and all that stuff, you'll find them in the info. What else we got here? Emily L asked, my soulmate intention gave me signs that made no sense at the time, but ended up aligning with my current boyfriend, who I met almost 2 months after the journey.
Yeah, this can happen. Like, so when you go randonauting, it creates a cascade of events. And when you deviate from your normal predetermined path, the artifacts and the consequences of that deviation can happen years down the line. So you never know what's going to happen once you go to a random place. Like I explained last time, I found a crowbar, and then 2 months later, I used the crowbar to break into my own house because I was locked out of my house. It's like, if I never went randonauting, I wouldn't have that crowbar. So this is a really good reason to log your trip reports. And even if you think something isn't important, write it down anyway. And so that's why in the official guide to Randonautica, we actually have a logbook so that you can take along on your journeys, and you can write down your different significant or even insignificant stuff, because there can be connections and patterns that you can make that you wouldn't consciously realize until months later, until you've randonauted enough. And then you can kind of start going back in your notes and making these connections and seeing like something that may make sense to you 2 months later that didn't make sense at the time. So that's a very interesting question.
Michael Henson asks, is there a difference in the kinds of experiences you find with voids versus attractors?
This is a question that we do not have the answer to. As far as experience goes, like a lot of people say that like attractors are places of high energy and voids are places of low energy. This is not necessarily true. They're both statistically significant outliers from a normal random distribution. So all we know is that they are so statistically significant in that they're anomalous from what you would normally expect, that we suppose that these points may be influenced by consciousness. Now, we don't know if a void will have a different effect than an attractor. A lot of people pick their favorites. Personally, I like attractors. I don't usually go to voids. I don't know why. That's just kind of maybe habit. But I think everybody kind of has to experiment with it on their own. And all we know is it's a statistically significant outlier. That's all we know. There's no difference as far as we know. Another question.
Why is a blind spot not intention driven?
So a blind spot is not intention driven because it uses what is called pseudo randomness. And pseudo randomness is algorithmically derived randomness, which means it starts with a seed, and they use that seed and do like an algorithm based on that seed to create what looks like randomness, but is actually predictable if you know the seed and how the randomness was generated. So it's not intention driven because it's actually predictable entirely. And so it's not influenced by consciousness. That's why we use pseudo randomness for blind spots, because you don't want to influence the randomness if you're looking for a blind spot, because you want it to be truly something that you wouldn't have thought of going to or wouldn't have influenced going to. But one thing that's interesting is that you can use the intention-driven anomalies to find blind spots by setting your intention to finding a blind spot whenever you use anomaly. In fact, that was the first intention anyone ever used when they created intention-driven anomalies.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Michael also says, for me, so far, every attractor has been at a place where I regularly go, and every void has been in a brand new unknown place.
That's very interesting, and that's like a very good observation. This is the kind of stuff that we're really interested in. And so in our new update, where we're going to have a public report system where people can log their journeys and kind of share with other people within the app what's happening in their journeys, we're going to be able to tell more of these patterns that are coming out, because right now it's kind of like we don't have the data. We don't really know. So in the future, we'll actually be able to have the data on all of this stuff, and we'll figure out like maybe intentions are different between voids and attractors.
Don't worry, Sandy. I'm also lost. It's fine. Sandy says, and I'm lost.
Yeah.
All right, we got another question from Robin L. Stovall. When I downloaded the Randonautica app from my iPhone Apple, there was 2 or 3 apps. Which one should I be using?
So this is very important, because there are a lot of knockoffs and clones and people who just want to take your money and trick you because they want to just like piggyback on the trend that we created. The authentic app is always going to be Randonautica by Randonauts Co. And it has the logo just like this one over here. And so it's Randonautica by Randonauts Co. That's always going to be the legit one. And that's how you'll know, is the logo and Randonautica by Randonauts Co. The other ones, that we cannot guarantee that they're random. We can't guarantee that they're not hacking or tracking your phone. So stick with Randonautica because it's trusted. It's the first one ever. There's a first application to ever use intention-based anomalies and stuff like that. And we introduced it to the world. So stick with the original. It's like Coca-Cola or Kleenex, you know?
Good point. Doc's Purgatory says, all right, will there be a larger radius in the future?
Okay, I think our current largest radius is 10,000 meters. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 10 kilometers. There is a thing we're kind of dealing with right now to make a bigger radius. There is an actual limitation to the algorithm itself, in that it can only go up to 100 kilometers, just the way the algorithm is built. So in the future, yes, we will have bigger than 10 kilometers, but it probably won't ever be bigger than 100 kilometers unless we do some kind of special hack that may or may not come along. But so the answer is yes, there will be a larger radius in the future.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your questions. We're actually going to hop into a new segment called Reddit Roundup.
Okay.
I'm excited to kind of take a look at this. So, Reddit's a big popular spot for all the, for randonauting and randonauts and all that stuff. So
it's so different. The vibe is so different on Reddit than on, for instance, YouTube or TikTok. Like, it's so much different. Like TikTok, it's like, oh, someone's following me. And on Reddit, it's like, oh, I found a rainbow.
Yeah, so we'll go through a couple of these pretty quick. We're running out of time here, but so this one here, this is my first time randonauting, so I set my intention to see something whack. It definitely delivered. Well, you got about 40 penguins in the front yard. Yeah.
That's pretty whack right there. That's intention fulfilled for sure. I mean, why are there penguins? These are my favorite. It's just like, what is the reason for this? Why? Just why?
Just chilling on
Derek's birthday.
This is not me, by the way. This is not this Derek. This is a different Derek. I guess he's a big fan of penguins, though. I'm
Well,
curious
they're
how old they're
chilling.
skirting, and if there's a penguin for every year of
Oh yeah, that's a
of
good
his birth.
point.
Very
And
cool.
they're just chilling, and they're penguins. That's funny.
All right. Have you ever generated a point and don't go because you knew it would turn out bad? Last night I was sitting in my house and decided that my intent was something sacred. I meant it in a positive way. Maybe find a nice church or something like that. It generated a point in the middle of the woods a few kilometers away. I used Google Maps to backtrack and realized it wanted me to go into a clearing in the middle of the woods on a native reservation. I'm sure that if I went, it would be something sacred there. Probably something sacred that I shouldn't be walking all over. Fuck that. That's how you get poltergeists. And then there's a comment there. That's how you disappear and never come back. Yeah.
So I definitely suggest trusting your intuition.
Mhm.
If your gut says don't go, don't go. I mean, you should always listen to your heart and your gut. And like, that's just really interesting that like they set their intention for something sacred and it went on this native land, which they associate with something that may be sacred. So their intention was actually fulfilled, even though they didn't end up going. So I think that was very smart of them to listen to their intentions. And listen to your gut. And if something inside you says don't go, then don't go. You don't have to go.
Also pretty respectful to not tread on there if it's a reservation and it is
you
sacred.
should definitely be respectful. And like that's another thing is if you find something that looks like witchcraft or like some jar with weird stuff in it, don't touch it, leave it alone. Like if you find some like ritual working space or something that looks like someone's been like practicing their spirituality, it's best if you leave it be and don't mess with it because you just don't want your vibes connecting with that. You should just kind of say, oh, that's interesting and move along.
Yeah. Looks like we got time for like two more here. Let's hop on to the next one. Wanted to find something eye-opening and happy.
Eye-opening and happy, and they found
there's a big old eye. Now, is that one of the talking walls there, or I guess not?
Yeah, I would definitely consider that a talking wall. It's like the universe is almost talking to you. So they set their intention for eye-opening, and the wall is talking, saying, "Here's an eye."
Yeah. Was there a second photo for that same post there, David? Is that what that was? Okay. Is that
what is it?
Is that a statue of a dog in like people clothing?
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to tell, but I think that might be like a dog with like a person's coat on or something.
Happy dog.
Yeah, very happy.
It's definitely a talking wall for sure. So
I mean that's
really
pretty crazy. Like eye-opening, something very specifically eye-opening.
I would be impressed.
Yeah, that's like spot on. Yeah. So I think we have time for one more. Let's see what we got. I let my little sister manifest this destination this time. Huh. Oh. Yeah, I think we I don't know. Should we zoom in there and kind of see? Because I don't know. It's what's funny is this is something to call her out. This is something my little sister would also try to generate as well. she's always got a dirty mind with this. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have done stuff like that. Like I remember one guy or one woman, she went with her husband and they set their intention for boobs and they found like 3 different statues with boobs on them. Like one was like the Buddha and it was great. Like, so I think the app does have like a sense of humor and some kind of like sense of agency. Well, that was great. I like the new Reddit segment. I really like engaging with Reddit because it's such a different vibe than TikTok or YouTube. It's just like people with like honest to God experiences and they type them up more and you kind of get a more personal feel. So if you haven't checked out the Reddit and the subreddit, go read the top posts from the Randonaut subreddit because that is where you're going to get a lot of like the really sincere, not faked, like people sincerely testing this and sincerely posting their results. Well, that was a really good live stream. I think we're doing another one next Thursday, correct?
Thursday. There it is. April 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
That's That's great. So yeah, thanks for everybody who pre-ordered the book. That was very helpful. We have a lot of merch for sale. If you go to randonautica.com and click on shop, we have tons of merch that's coming out, and we have new merch that's coming very soon as well that I'm really excited to release to you guys. Just some quick updates about the app. We finally have something to show you that is going to be so mind-blowing. You guys are it's just gonna change the game of Randonauts forever. And so next week we should have a video kind of like about that. Hope Doomer said love the stream. Thank you so much. We love engaging with you guys. So if you ever have a comment or a question, we would love to answer it. So if you have not become a pro subscriber, now is the time to become a pro subscriber, because we're getting beta testers for the Discover feed, which is like the social component to Randonautica, where people are going to be able to connect with other Randonauts, tell their Randonautica stories, and kind of blend their intentions and get in different circles and find out if you're entangled with other Randonauts and have similar journeys and experiences. And this is something that's never been done before. This is a first ever. We've never had a social media site or app based purely on novelty. So this is something very interesting. And the pro membership also gets you unlimited anomalies every month. It gets you a custom location, so you can set your location anywhere in the world and go randonauting on Google Street View. It also gets you access to a private Telegram group that is only for pro subscribers, because there's a lot of people out there who don't actually go randonauting. They just watch the videos, and so they don't really know what's going on. They don't have good intentions. They're not sincere about it. They're just kind of there to watch and not actually participate. And so if you're a pro randonaut, you get invited to the group of people who all participate, and we're all open to this kind of like mind-machine interaction experimentation. So if you haven't found your Randonaut home in your Randonaut circle, become a pro subscriber, and you can connect with other Randonauts who just know the deal and have experienced it for themselves. Because once you've experienced it and you've found that legendary artifact or that legendary talking wall or just whatever crazy circumstance, you will never forget it, and you'll not even know how to explain it to regular people. You'll have to find some Randonauts to talk about it with. So thank you, Derek, for joining me today. And thank you to the whole team who helped produce this. Thank you to the Randonauts. You guys are so awesome. We love reading your stories. It makes my day whenever we read a positive, really sincere story. So follow our movement at Randonautica app. You know it's legit because it's on randonautica.com. You can see all of our social media sites. The next stream is on 4/8, which is April 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Join us on the live stream. Connect with us. Leave comments, questions. We want to interact with you guys. We want to answer all your questions. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll answer it. I'm an open book. And yeah, pre-order the guide to Randonautica, because this thing is going to blow your mind. There is stuff in here that has not been published anywhere else. There are things that are considered secrets by the U.S. government, and I just went ahead and said, okay, let's put them in the book. So thank you, Derek, for joining us.
Joshua, thanks for having me, man. This is great. Thanks for everybody for watching and all your comments and stuff. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love randonauting. That's why we do this. We love the Randonauts. You guys are such kind, curious, sincere individuals. Thank you, guys. I'm very grateful to be of service to all of you. Nice. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
See you next